Jumal, Zach!
Give him.
You got him! You got him! Time!
Boys, get on him, man! Get on him!
You know, if you're playing keeper, you should know.
What a save! Solid save! Jumal, stop on it! Igual! Hey, June! Love that, June!
Don't need that Chris like that, man.
Go! That's nice dive! That's the... Come on, man, you want to be there, you should go!
Guys are doing brilliant. Don't praise you so much, but this is brilliant. That's what we do. Keep the shape.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing well.
Well done! Yes! Kasi goda be. यारे भाई बाला डिफेंडिंग कर रहा है यारे भाई
Shafi Balas, I'm not gonna lie.
हेडर अरे Altaf, next one going out, get ready.
Well done.
That. The way he said the first touch already, I thought he was gonna miss it. Come on! Ya, ikut jalan Pak B. I just did pick him up. Keeper's out. Oh my God, keeper balas lo. Keeper was out. Yeah, Shafi been crossed.
Well done, Lewis.
Oh, fuck. This is it.
Yeah.
Hold on, fuck. Justin, drop it. Hold on. Oh!
No foul, la maestra. Alonso wasn't getting the time for.
Yes!
Yes, he's finished.
Yes! Come on! Yes, man! Oh my God! This guy! He's the trophy today. You're in cut, you're in cut!
Fucking go, come on! Well done, Ish!
MK durma!
Well done, Rocky. Again, cool. Lovely. That's it, she's there!
Run!
Carry on!
Yeah!
Come on! Fucking go!
Let's go, Shaq. He's just a kid! Hey guys, listen very carefully. Listen very carefully, bro.
Champions!
to have jumped on board along the way. Yeah? At the end of the day, have we shown our heart in this season?
Absolutely.
Do we deserve this car?
Yes.
Yes. Fucking percent. Does that make sense? Nobody will give it to us. We have to go and fight for that. Does that make sense? And we fought for it and we fucking won it. And you know what? We fucking deserve it.
Yes.
So
Alright, boys. Before we finish there, yeah? Manager of the year 2 times in a The thing what they said is so important because like I said, it wasn't easy for us. Do you know what I mean? For us this year compared to the first time round, it wasn't easy for us. We went for a lot of shit off the pitch, and I think a lot of people really showed their gears and showed their mentality. Rocks in the first game of the season, I thought he had a good game, but he bollocked the out of Kaz, and he showed Kaz this is the standard. Has Kaz dropped once? No. This Kaz fucking well done, mate.
Well
done.
Have you ever had anyone, the managers ever say to Kaz, you need to do? No one trusted him. He does his job, and that's how I belongs here. Ishak, 16 years old, and he's coming here tearing the first out. No, but boys, he's special, and our boys. Dan turned down Sunday roast everything. Hey, listen up. Hey, listen up. I want to quickly put something out before we leave today, right? Last season when we won it, we had it easy. Let's be real. That was too easy for us. This is a challenge, and every single one of you across the board stepped up from the starting 11 to the fucking bench. Does that make sense? I'm on.
Axel Fitzel.
Josh Fitz has been immense for us. He has been immense. You're not telling me what played one of the best seasons of his life? 100%. How do you go more to him?
Yeah!
Hey.
Ras balling at left back.
Hey, let's be real, okay? All of us, like I said, we have the tough. What's Cody? Hey, Cody hasn't played football for 2 years.
He's blushing.
Hey, he's blushing. Look at him. He started off poor. Yeah. We all know it. Most of all, he knows it. But did he fucking step up on his game?
He's not the best, but he's up there. Can I just say, like I said, man, across the board, every single player today. Adam started some of the most important games of our life. Bromley, BYM, this one. So Adam deserves to. Everyone deserves credit. Curly always has to have a last thing. Champion!
Wait, Danny. I thought you were going to twerk.
Let's go pictures now, too.
Boys, champions again.
Coming a familiar picture.
Retain your title from 2019.
Yeah.
Well done, boys. Well done.
It was a tough season, man. Honestly, like we've had our ups and downs, but we came through at the end. You know. I think the turn. When do you think the turn? Bromley game. Like that's personally for me. That's when we started believing what we're capable of doing. You know, beating them 4-0 convincingly the way we did. Then beating BYM, another big team, and then obviously Brick Lane done us a favour. We got Brick Lane. And then winning the way we did today. It was tense first half, but second half we just got through it. was it Ishak? He's been amazing this year for us. He scored his goal, Rocky, amazing what he done in the middle there, and then Curtly at the end finished it off for us. Brought it up back home, you know, or actually retained it.
Yeah. Alright, so let's take it back to the beginning. So, beginning of the season, you actually slipped up against Sire unexpectedly. I mean, what was the feeling in the camp back then?
I'll be honest with you, our start of the season was poor. I think our preparation for this summit was, you know, with COVID and everything like that, I think we kind of took it for granted. So we were a little bit, it didn't go as well as I thought. Obviously, the fixtures in the beginning, you know, we avoided all the big boys for our first 3-4 games in it. So I think it helped us a lot because obviously our prep, like I said, wasn't that good. We did expect to win those games. On paper, we expect to win every game, but Sire did surprise us. And like I said, there was a lot of changes made to the team after that. A lot of players left, and we just, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, like I think it's easy always bringing players. Sorry, it's hard to bring players in and expect them to make a difference to a team that's so established. Because we've won everything in 5 years. You know, to rejuvenate the squad, we looked at outside, like bringing in players from the outside. And I think it just didn't really work out. So we resorted back to type, and we went back to players like Danny, Rifat, and we brought some of the B-boys in, Amwa and Ishak, who have been outstanding. All 4 of them have been outstanding for us. And I think that's when the turn just happened. And look, end of the day, we did lose against Brick Lane, but I mean, Brick Lane's a good team. And you know, you expect to lose games every now and then, stuff like that happen. But for us, the message, I think KM Res this year have been, their team talks have been different level this year. Like some of the analysis they put into games and some of the tactics they put in for us, like we went into games just knowing what to do. And you know, for like kids like Ishak and Amwa, 16-year-old, they need that, and I think that was vital for us. So as the games went on, we just got stronger and stronger. Injuries didn't help. Toy missed majority of the season. You know, that Toy's a big name. Rocks missed majority of the season. MK missed majority of the season. Obviously, I missed that game against, you know, that crucial game against Brick Lane. But we did lose a lot of players throughout the season. But it's the boys that stepped in, like Rafik at left back. Raf's a central midfielder, but he went left back, and it's the best I've ever seen him. And at right wing, like usually who plays there? MK plays there, because he's been missing. Anam has to go do a job for us. And these are the boys that people don't really know. You know your Curtleys, Toybs, Cody's, Rocks and Shahs, and you don't know your Rafids and your Anams and your Joshes, and they've been class. And that's where, for me, we've won the league. And yeah, man, I think from game to game, you've just gone from strength to strength.
I mean, you mentioned that Brick Lane game. That was just before the Cup week. Going into that Cup week, after the Cup week, you were actually 5th in the league, I think, at one point. So you were actually 5th in the league because you dropped down a bit. I mean, the league was really tight. There's 4 teams ahead of you. Did you at that point, were you still believing, or did you think that was it?
You know what? In Aberfeldy, we have this thing where we never ever go into, like, you know, when it comes to, like, you're saying we were 5th. We don't ever disbelieve. Like, you know, I don't think there's been any point, no matter where we are, we never ever look at it and think, nah, we're not going to be there at the end of the season. And I think there was a few people mentioning a 4-horse race. I think between Bromley, BYM, Brick Lane and Seoul. How's your 4-horse race now? How's your lot's 4-horse race now? But do you know what it was? And Aberfeldy, we just have this unbelievable, like, belief system. And the thing is, like you said, the Brick Lane game was a hard one to take because, you know, Lewis scored in the last 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. So it's a bitter pill to swallow, especially when we've been through so much in the beginning of the season. But every team's been through like that. Every single team will tell you we've had our ups and downs. We've had players coming and going. So, like, we're not here. We're not telling you anything that, you know, no other team has gone through. But in Aberfeldy, there's always just that standard, you know, when it's just like one little thing can affect us a lot. And I feel like we've done so much. For me personally, this one's sweeter than the last one, even though I didn't really have much of a say in this summer league win, because I missed like a month out. But this league feels so much more sweeter than the one that we won back in 2019 because of everything that we had to go through. And also, people forget that it was out of our hands. We were 5th at one point. We needed a massive favour from Brick Lane. But when you look at our running in the last 3 games, we had Bromley, BYM and Stepney. And then you look at Bromley's running, you had Seoul's running and BYM's running. Like, if you look at it on paper, Seoul should have ran away with the league ages ago. BYM should have been second, and Bromley, between them two, it should have been, we should have been out of the mix. But we went into the game against Bromley focused, knowing what we need to do, and a 4-0 win against Bromley, like that, it doesn't matter what players they have at. Bromley is Bromley, and, you know, obviously, you know, we can compliment them to the days, you know, thing, but it's just like they're a very good team. And for us to go out, they beat them 4-0, following week go 1-0 down against.
Wait, before we get to the next week, tell us about that Bromley game, because there was a young man that scored a hat-trick that game. Ishak, tell us about Ishak.
You know, the funny thing with Ish is it's like we know his ability. Even at 16 years old, like he's a leader. He's a leader among, because he was part of the B team prior to coming to us. And he's a leader, do you know what I mean? And it's that young, it's having these boys at a young age, having that mentality. And we just looked at him and thought, you know what? And Russia obviously coaching the B team. He said, I think he's ready to make that step up. And for us, it's just like, because he's an Aberfeldy boy, you know, he's an Aberfeldy boy. He's been, you know, he's lived in the area all his life. He knows what it feels like to represent the team, and he's always wanted to represent the team. And he even said, obviously, even though he's part of the B team, with all due respect to the B team, he felt like he can represent the A team. Ishak did find it a little bit hard initially. I think he's 2-3 games. He wasn't finding, you know, he didn't get. He was doing everything right. He just didn't find the back of the net. And I said to him, you know what? Sometimes it's not about the goals. It's about your performances. Because of your performances, you know the goals are gonna come. And what a way to do it! He did it against Bromley. You know, probably like I said, the best team in the league. But not to score 1, 2, but to score 3. It's a massive statement. And I think once he got that and his confidence came, he has gone from strength to strength to strength. And like I said, it's a shame he didn't start the season. He probably would have been up there for player of the season, to be honest. But, I don't rule him out.
He scored in the last 3 games, has he?
He scored 3, yeah. And like I said, Bromley, BYM and Stepney.
Yeah.
Like these are some they're very, very difficult games. Come back in. And they're like very difficult games. Like for a 16-year-old to step up and do that.
Well done, boys. Congratulations.
Thanks, bro.
Boys.
Yeah, man. I think for like, you know, I look at us, man, I don't feel a day older than like when we were 17, 18. We're 26 now. You know, us we are 26, and we have 10 years on Ishak. And I look at him, and you know the maturity in his game and everything that he's done for us, and the way he's just come in and just taking it stride by stride. And the games that he didn't score, and he was always an impactful player. He was contributing somehow. But then you can't rule out your Amor, Rafid, Josh, Anwar, all these boys have come in and they've done a stellar job, man. So I think, you know, you know, it's the cliche saying, but everyone has to do their part. I remember we stood here 2 years ago and I said everyone had to do their part for us to win the league, and everyone done their part, and obviously for us, Brooklyn did their part. So you know, I know, consider us even now. You know? So you know, it's just like, man, it feels so sweet, and I'm just happy, man. And I think it's not setting in now, but once you see that Aberfeldy have won the Prem 2 years in a row and everything, and it's just like, it's sweet, man. It feels so good.
Now everyone's had their moments where they needed to step up, but for me, Amor has stepped up big time this year, you know. Big time. No, because what it is, he made saves that we needed him to make, you know, for us to stay in the game, and you know, he made it proper easy for us against Bromley. I think it was 1-on-1 with Shaka, you know, early in the game. He needed to make that save. Today he made an outstanding save, you know, and that from there we just went on to win it. And even BYM, he was solid. Like, he's been amazing for me, man. So
I think when you consider, like, in Aberfeldy, I know everyone sees us as an attacking side, and we got some great attacking players, but it's the defence. Like, we pride ourselves on defence, like keeping clean sheets, defence is being organised and structured. This season we changed our 3 at the back and went 4. And obviously that's when Raf actually went left back. And we've got the best defence in the league, I believe. 9 goals conceded. And for me, like, honestly, even though the points and the wins and the goals look nice, it's when you see that 9 and opposed to everyone else's double digits, it looks good. And that, for me, obviously, what the great Fergie did say in it, it's defence that wins you leagues. And like I said, for us, Ams, Josh, Rifat, Kaz has been amazing for us. He's been amazing for us. So it's all these boys that really play their part, and they make it easy for the team. And like Brock said, everyone playing their part, and that's what it takes. That's what it takes for everyone, for us to be champions. And you know, alhamdulillah, we are champions now. So it's a great feeling.
No, definitely. I mean, let's recap the final week of the season. Yeah, so Seoul are top of the league, and you guys are just behind with Bromley on level points, but you're third. Give us a run through the 3 games that happened.
These 2 were pessimistic. I said to them, like I said, you know, sometimes, right, you can't, you know, when you feel like something's in the air, especially the way we beat Bromley and then we come back in against B1, because to be fair, this season when we went down, we actually have never come back. I think we took a 1-0 lead against Sire, they scored 2 goals and we couldn't recoup that victory or get ourselves a draw. Against Brick Lane was the same. We took a 1-0 lead and then Lewis scored the 2 goals. Obviously he scored right towards the end, but there was nothing for us there to recoup that game and actually get a point from it. We went 1-0 down against BYM, and I think for us that was a massive turning point, because whenever we've gone down this season, we found it really difficult to come back. And against BYM, and BYM are BYM. People were these are the same guys that beat Bromley 6-1 or 5-1, 5-1 or whatever it was, and everyone was saying this is BYM's league this year. Typical BYM fashion. Obviously they did what they do best, but moving forward, when we faced them, I was like, they took that lead, but I didn't feel at any point that we was going to be like, we were challenged. I knew we were going to get back into it, and that's down to the likes of obviously Rocks, Shah, Ishak and Kurtley, and all those the so-called big boy players and that coming through and everything, and really making it count for us. So going into that last game against Seoul, this guy, me, had numerous conversations. Don't forget Rez down there as well. All of us, we went through it and we were like, we know it's out of our hands, but I genuinely felt like Brick Lane will go out there and do a job. I did genuinely believe that. And when you see that game, there's not many words that can describe it. I think it's just that's an act of God. The fact that they hit the bar about 8 times,
and the heart that Brick Lane showed in that game, with all their players missing. So
I think for Seoul, there's like how do you look at that game and dissect where you went wrong when Brick Lane have about 10 players missing, about 10 injuries. Shaq, you wasn't even there, and you're Captain Fantastic for Brick Lane. You weren't playing. You had Juman up top, and all respect to Juman. Juman hasn't started the season or a game all season. You had Giash by, who's like he makes me look tall, and you had Giash by in there, and he's coming out with blind with one save after the other. So when you give it to him. So when you put when you put it like that, man, I just feel like how Seoul didn't win that. Only they can tell you, man. But
I mean, you were right behind the goal actually before that goal went in. What were you thinking at that point?
What was it?
If that weren't there, would have took my hat off.
Honestly, because we got the best angle. It's the way he's done it first time, no touch, and we were there, and it's literally come back in towards the goal. Once he got on that,
the thing with Lewis, everyone knows Lewis is a top player. In the Summer League, he's one of the most revered players. He scored 2 passes, so you're all stuff. But no, like I said, at the end of the day, whether it's down to Lewis, whether it's down to Brick Lane, whether it's down to whoever, Aberfeldy, we always say, win our games, take it to the last game of the season, and you never know, because I think people don't realise pressure does start, it gets applied on certain teams, and I don't care what level of football you play. People come to BFA football on a Sunday to win. It's so passionate here, and that last week when Lewis scored, the place was rocking, and you don't get atmosphere like that at semi-pro level. Do you know what I mean? Like, the place was buzzing. And it was nice that everyone was here, after the restrictions were lifted, and to witness something like that, and it just took it to the last game. It was unfortunate for us that obviously the rain abandoned the game.
Before that, obviously Bromley played, and they actually were looking to get at least 10 goals, because they were thinking that they might pip you guys on the goal difference.
They were close.
So what were you thinking? Because I think they got 8 at the end. Were you thinking they might get a few more?
I'll be honest with you, end of the day, Bromley, like I said, you can never rule out the players that they have. Shaka, Steve, like I said, I always say Stephen's the best player in the league. Like, this guy's different level, and for me, not seeing him there was a plus. I'll be real with you, but regardless, they have Rasidi, Calvin, they have all these players that that can go get goals, and they did. To score 8 goals, forget chasing it in any game. To get 8 goals in the Prem is a massive achievement. So for them to go do that, we knew it was going to be tough, but regardless of if they scored 1 or whatever, our objective is to see we have to beat Stephen. And that's, like I said, fortunately, that's what we went and did.
I mean, you were 1-0 up last week, and then the heavens opened.
Literally.
Tell us about today's game. Going into it all week, because remember, look, you could have won it last week, and then obviously the match got abandoned because of the weather. What were you like all week? All week you must have been preparing for this.
You have your preparation, but what it is to put anyone in this position, especially because I don't care what level of football you play. When you step in this cage and the pressure is on and there's people watching you, believe me, some of the best players you have crumble, and it happens. But the fact that we had this 1 week off where, you sort of think like we have one hand on the trophy, but it's not quite there yet. And obviously Bromley were top of the table as things were currently standing. And it's just the fact that we had this 1 week to prepare, but 1 week is just like that restlessness. And to have everyone focused to know, and also I feel like that week did give Stepney a bit of a, get a bit of a thing to like recoup, get some of their boys in. Because if you saw them out there today, if they started with that team and they had that team all season, believe me, they would not be fighting for relegation. They'd be somewhere up there fighting for the league. I'll be completely honest with you, because they had some really good players out there, and you've got players like Mahi, who's he's the next big thing, to be honest. And Mahi's coming.
Mahi is like this boy. Like, obviously, fortunately, he's playing that Sporting now. With us seeing a young Bangladeshi player like him coming through, like this guy is the next big thing. Like honestly, like, there's nothing he can't do. He's good in the air, both feet, he's he got goals in him, he got assists in him, and it's just like it's players like him that you want to see coming through, and like he can go higher. Like this boy can go so much more higher. So it's just like like I said to the boys. These are the games you have to win to be champions. These are the games you have to win. But it was that week that it's the anticipation of
That's what killed it.
Because like it happened so quick. Obviously, Seoul drew, Bromley won. So it's like what, an hour to prepare for the game. Now we had a week, so you're thinking about it, and sometimes you overthink things. But like I said, it's credit to I think Rez and K. I honestly can't thank these guys enough. The way they can just calm down our boys, because everyone knows Aberfeldy, we're hot-headed, and we do say a lot of things, but they calm us down all the time, and they said, you know what, it's always been in our hands, no matter what, and this is how it was always going to pan out. And it's when things are in our hand, we rarely ever fail. And like I said, all the boys done their job, and alhamdulillah, like I said again, we're champions now. So yeah, it's a beautiful feeling.
No, well done, boys. Congratulations. Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Well done. Any last words?
Yeah, you know what?
Here we go.
No, it's just, we've had such a rubbish past year and a half, to be honest. I think let's not forget one of the refs that passed away because of due to the virus and stuff. And sometimes, and also then once we were playing, there was a brother that passed away during George Green and stuff. And it's like, I know all of us get carried away with the game, the swearing and all that stuff, and obviously tempers get flared. But let's not forget that it's good to see a lot of these brothers here. We take everything for granted, and 1 minute's here, the next minute, we're looking at the stars and stuff. So I just feel like seeing everyone back and moving forward and everything. I just hope everyone, nothing but good health. And this is coming on me as well. Like I've been through a lot of things in my life, man. So I just feel like I'm just happy to see everyone back, and let's just take it year by year. Now let's just get stronger. Put this past year and a half behind us, and to be fair, obviously all the soppy stuff away. The boys gotta come take the league off us now, innit? Because I'll be honest, Bromley and all these guys, we said 2 years ago that there's gonna be a big target on our backs and everyone's gonna come and go for us. But we're here again, standing here again. So you know what? These lot gotta do a lot of things. Like boys like PYO, Stepney, they've got so many youngsters coming through, and there's some quality players. But we're 26 in it, and to be fair, we're not gonna go nowhere, and we're not gonna go nowhere for them lot either. So they either step up or step aside.
Hey, well done, boys. Back-to-back champions, boys. Well done.